A Navy veteran shot down during the war in Korea never returned home. 70 years later, the family of Lloyd Smith Jr. is left with one question. Why isn't his name on the new memorial wall in Washington? We first shared this story back in January. 4 months later, we update the fight to honor the forgotten.
And nobody is willing to step up and say, oh, that was a mistake and we need to fix this.
This is the face of frustration brought on by a fight with government bureaucracy spurred by failed efforts to honor a combat veteran lost 70 years ago at war.
If you talk to somebody that knows nothing about this case and you just give them the case, they're like, it's a no-brainer. So he was a little older and had a family. Most of them didn't have families. They were young. They were 18 years old. My mother was 9. My aunt was 12 years old when he disappeared.
We first understood the devotion Terry Mumley has to sharing the story of her grandfather back in January when she showed us her right arm.
And so this is my grandfather's plane, the blue one.
This tattoo sleeve honors Lloyd Smith Jr., a Navy airman shot down by enemy fire during the Korean War, declared missing, then presumed dead, but left off the Korean War Memorial Remembrance Wall in Washington.
I want my grandfather's name on the Wall of Remembrance for the Korean War.
It's that simple.
It's that simple.
That was in January. In May, we sat down at the same dining room table for an update.
4 months, nothing.
Right. And they just keep putting us in a big circle. Call this number, they'll help you. That number doesn't know anything. Call this number, that doesn't exist.
The Department of Defense and the Navy both recognized a special board was meeting at the end of January to reconsider all the evidence, but that deadline came and went with no answers.
I first heard back from Senator Blackburn's office.
In the last 4 months, a string of new letters arrived from Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn's office, holding the promise of new contacts, new leads, new phone numbers.
The first number was no longer even a working number. It said that. And when I called the second number, they said, we don't know anything about casualties here, but I tell you what, I'm going to find a guy that'll give you a call back. So that was on May 3rd. I've never heard a call back from them at all.
And again, no answers.
If a person died in service to our country, they deserve to be there. That's my bottom line.
East Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett voiced his concern about the case at the first of the year, but despite formal requests from his office to the military, still no answers.
Is there any traction or any deadline you think that will matter in the next few months or no?
No, it's the type of thing that to get it done, somebody at the top has pretty much got to push it.
But we're just kind of now, we feel like we're in a stalemate that they said they'll fix it. Everybody says we need to fix it, but nobody's making the move.
And Lloyd Smith Jr. wasn't the only military man lost on 18 January 1953. 11 Navy and Coast Guard veterans died in the shoot-down and rescue operation off the coast of China during the final months of the war in Korea.
This was by far the most physically grueling hike I have ever done.
A recent climb in Colorado paid tribute to all of them. Military veterans summited a 14,000-foot peak to say all the names of the group lost at war 7 decades ago, known now as Neptune's Angels.
Joseph Bridge.
Fellow veterans honoring the sacrifice of her grandfather, something the government still refuses to recognize in stone.
It's just hard. I spoke to my mother this morning, she was crying, and my aunt were crying. You know, here we are 70 years later, and that's how it affects us.
And it's why Terry Mumley calls her grandfather, Lloyd Smith Jr., one of the last forgotten veterans of America's forgotten war.
But they really hope that you'll get tired of it all and go away, and then they won't have to deal with you anymore. But we're not going away.
The families connected to this case are now looking at filing a lawsuit to try to force the government to reconsider this case and take action. We'll be right back.